Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you are new here, I do all kinds of videos around lifestyle, vlogs, living with chronic illness, debt, basically anything involved in my life. If you're interested in any of those things, please make sure you subscribe down below. I would love to have you. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers, and once we hit that 1,000 subscribers, note, I definitely want to do a giveaway. So let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like to get. But today I am talking about a few of my favorite new-ish book series that I have been loving. I will be honest, every single one of these except one of them is a TikTok book talk purchase. So I had hundreds of screenshots of book recommendations from Book Talk, as they call it on TikTok, and I have just been obsessed ever since. I have like hundreds of books in my Amazon wish list. And if you didn't know, I already have quite a few books over here. I'm kneeling on the ground right now, but all of my like Harry Potter series, all of these like self-help books. We are definitely a book fam over here, but I want to tell you about some of my favorite book series that I've gotten the last few months that I have been obsessed with, why I've been liking them, and if you're interested, I will have everything linked down below. It is an affiliate link for Amazon, so if you click it, I get like 2 cents, but I just want to let you know ahead of time that they are affiliate links. These are 4 of my favorite series that I have been reading right now. Just to start it off, I love nonfiction books. I think there's a great place for nonfiction books in general in your life, but I was going through depression earlier this year, which I have talked about, and I just had no interest in reading a book that was telling me another way that I needed to fix myself. So I kind of got back into fiction books because I really wanted to just get back into reading and kind of spark that creative lens of me. If you didn't know, I've always wanted to be a novel writer, and this has kind of sparked some ideas for me. So we will start out with this trio here. It's the From Blood and Ash book trio. This book is by Jennifer Armentrout. I have no idea if I'm saying that incorrectly. There are currently 3 books. I believe the next one is coming out either next year or the year after. I'm not really sure. All of these books are kind of built into a time that is not like where we live now. They are fantasy books. I would say that a lot of these have sex in them. So if that's not your vibe, these books probably won't be for you, but I didn't mind a little bit of that. But yeah, so this one is, a lot of them also have fae, which I had no idea what that was, but it's like a whole type of person. Anyway, if you're interested, if you read these types of books, then you already know, but I've really been loving these books. I read these 3 in like a matter of days. I'm a very fast reader, especially when I love something, and got really obsessed with this Poppy and Castile relationship or friendship, or you know, they went from like hating each other to loving each other. So I really enjoyed this Blood and Ash series. I think that they're really good, interesting. They are very long books, but they are worth it, let me tell you. I actually want to reread this series just because it was like the first series that I read through, and then I got my babies back here and I got obsessed with those and didn't reread these, but I would like to reread them because I am such a fast reader. Sometimes I feel like I miss stuff, but I really love these. I think you guys will too if you're really interested in like the enemies to lovers, a strong female. All of these have strong female main characters. None of them are coming from like a victim mindset, which I really enjoy, but there's still like some romance involved, which I really enjoy. So next up, I will just mention this book quickly. It's called A Discovery of Witches. It's very different than the rest of these, which all have to have like fae characters in them, and they're all kind of based in like this almost like a Lord of the Rings type of world. So, and there's like fighting and action and stuff like that. So this one is actually about witches and vampires and demons. And it's really interesting. It's still magic and romance, but instead of having like the fae characters, it's witches and vampires. And there's 3 of them currently. I've only read the first one. My mom actually gave this to me because she finished it, so I'm waiting for her to finish the second one, Mom. It was so I can read the rest of them. But the second one is The Book of Life, Discovery of Witches, The Book of Life, Shadow of Night, and The World of All Souls, and then Times Convert. I don't know if those are even all out, but this was a really good book. It's basically about Diana Bishop, who is a scholar, and she is a witch, but she doesn't want to be a witch, so she like ignores her witchiness. She gets caught up in this space that she didn't even know that she was supposed to be in, and she falls in love with a vampire, which you're not supposed to do apparently. Witches and vampires aren't supposed to be together. So it's just this whole fun story. Like there's romance, but there's also like this just like craziness going on in the world that they're dealing with, and I'm excited to read the next few and see what happens from there. But I did want to mention this one even though I've only read the first one. I think it's really good. Next up, I'm going to do this whole series which I just bought the entire book series from Amazon because it was on sale. I think it was $60 for 8 books. It's called the Throne of Glass series. If you are anything in like the fantasy space right now or on TikTok, you have definitely heard of these books. They're very popular. I feel like this is like the series that a lot of people get into in the like romance, fae, fantasy world, if you will. In fact, it says this is a #1 New York bestseller. It's a fantasy book. So this main character is a female. As you can see, she is an assassin. Her name changes a couple of times, and I don't want to give anything away, so we'll just say that the main character is an assassin. This is written by Sarah J. Maas, which I'll tell you about in a second, but she's become like one of my favorite fantasy authors. I will say this one does have romance included, but if the other books that I've shown you are a little too in-depth, if you know what I mean, like maybe a little too much information, which I don't mind, but maybe you do, this doesn't have as much. There is a few little scenes, but for the most part it doesn't go into anything super graphic, which some of the other books do. Just being honest. So, but I really like this series. I will say I went into this thinking there was going to be a little bit more romance, and there wasn't, and it didn't start for a while, which is totally okay, but I just had that mindset in my head. But I really, really love it. I'm not finished. So I just finished Empire of Storms, and it ended on an extreme cliffhanger, and I am kind of feeling a little thrown off by it. So this Tower of Dawn one is actually like another part of the story that was going on at the same time as this one. And then this last book tells you like how everything ends. So I'm having a really hard time not jumping to this last book because I've been told that I really need to read the Tower of Dawn. But it's basically about this assassin, and you kind of follow her life as an assassin, but there's like something else going on, almost like a past life that she's not talking about, and eventually the past life comes forward. There are fae again involved, and it's just like a very whimsical fantasy world, and I just love that space, especially for fiction books, obviously, because I really loved Harry Potter and like the Lord of the Rings movies. I never actually read the Lord of the Rings books, but I loved the movies, and Harry Potter, just like that very fantasy, like it's an entirely different world that only like the most creative type of person could have come up with. And I really like these books. So I will definitely be finishing those and rereading this whole series at some point. I really like rereading stuff just to make sure that I like didn't miss anything. But last but not least is my favorite series that I think I've ever read besides Harry Potter. And that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you've heard about it on TikTok, but basically this is about this main character named Feyre, and her life like starts out in a really rough place. She meets a Fey man and they have like a relationship and all this stuff comes from it, and she's trying to save her family, and then a whole bunch of shit goes down. She gets like totally effed up. There's just a lot. I don't want to give it away. And then like the entire story changes in the second book, and it just goes up from there, and it's amazing. These last two books are actually not from necessarily the point of view of Feyre, which I kind of wish would have continued because I love her character, but I love the way these books are written. This made me fall in love with Sarah J. Maas, who is also the author of the Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass series, Assassin's Blade series. So I really loved these. There is a lot of sex and like graphic romance in here, so if that's like not your vibe, then these aren't the books for you. It's not like disgusting, but they go into detail, which again I don't mind, but some people might. And it is all about like that Fae type of character again, which in each book they're a little bit different, but there's a lot of similarities to what they're like. So anyway, that is my favorite book for sure. I loved this book, but A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin were probably my two next favorites. I did like these books, but again, because Feyre wasn't necessarily the main character, I wasn't as in love with it as I was with these ones, but still like the best series that I've ever written. I don't know if she's writing another book or not. I'm not as up to date on all that stuff as I should be. But those are 4 of my favorite new like series on fiction books. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this. If you have any questions about any of the books, leave them down below. Again, I'll have these all affiliate links from Amazon down below, so you can just click that if you would like to order any of these. And yeah, if you have any recommendations for really good fiction books, leave them down below. I would really love to hear about them. I'm in the midst of starting to write my own fiction book, which I'm really excited about. So who knows, maybe that'll be out in the next couple of years. You never know what could happen. But thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.